What's going on, Mets fans? I know it's been a busy couple of weeks for our New York Mets. David Stearns has completely flipped this franchise on its head for the better. I know people are still bitter about other things, other players that have left, but I'm going to break down in this video for you guys why the Mets are in such great financial flexibility and the shape that they're in for the next 5 seasons, that they are going to be one of the most sustained winning franchises for the first time in the franchise's history in our lifetimes. They are going to be a team that will be a perennial playoff contender because of the situation that David Stearns and Steve Cohen have now put the New York Mets for 2026 and beyond. I'm going to show you guys the full breakdown of the salary, the payroll moving forward, the contracts, why we're in such great shape. But first, guys, like, share, subscribe to this channel for Mets content. We are going to be going hot and heavy as the Mets are giving us things to talk about every single day, it seems like now. Who are the Mets getting next is the question over these last couple of weeks. We went from Robert Bichette, we got Freddie Peralta, Tobias Myers. A lot of stuff is coming, and I don't think the Mets are far from done either. I think they're going to be more coming. So again, guys, share, like, subscribe as we get into this Mets video and this breakdown. But first, guys, the first thing I'd love to get into is the David Stearns apology form. Now, I'm not going to ask people. I know I mess around with a lot of people on social media. I'm not going to ask people to apologize to David Stearns just yet because the product that I think that he's putting out onto the field is the better product overall than it's been over the last couple of years. I don't need apologies from the David Stearns people who doubted him because they'll never apologize to him until they see the results. But it's very hypocritical that people won't believe in what David Stearns is doing moving forward, but they'll still say, I got to see what David Stearns is doing moving forward before I give him credit. But when he let Pete Alonso and Brandon Nimmo and all these other guys walk, you guys were ready to fire him. I think it's very hypocritical because you guys were jumping all on board the fire train already, and it didn't make any sense. So this is the logic of the Met fan over the last 3 months, and I'm going to break it down as simply as possible. And if you're in this category, you know exactly who I'm talking about because it's probably one of you guys that have been watching these videos all this time. This has been the Mets fan logic over the last 3 months. David Stearns has killed this franchise. He's let every fan favorite leave the building, didn't offer them contracts, and I don't care what happens. I'm done with David Stearns. Fire him. He's ruined the franchise. You've come to that conclusion already. That's fine. That's your opinion. But now that he's put a better product on the field, in my opinion, or a different product on the field, you're not willing to give him the chance to prove that this might be the right way to go. To me, that's extremely hypocritical, and the stubborn Met fan will just not give David Stearns the credit, even if they win the division, even if they get to the postseason. They'll still say, well, we could have went to the postseason with Pete. You couldn't, because 2 out of 7 years you didn't. And 2 of those years were pretty fluky, if you ask me. So suck it up. It's happening. We're getting better. The Mets, I want to get into the financial flexibility of the New York Mets now moving forward. This is Spotrac. This is one of my favorite websites when it comes to just seeing everybody's contract situation. This is where you want to go when you want to see everybody's contract situation. So the Mets right now are projected at a $356 million payroll, second highest in the sport, but yet David Stearns is cheap and Steve Cohen only cares about the casino. You see the stats. This is the updated stats of the, you see the updated payroll for these players. You got 51, Soto, blah, blah, blah. Now, I'm going to tell you guys this right now. Add 30 more million to that with Pete Alonso. Now you're at 386. I'm not saying money's a problem here, but now you're at 386, and you're stuck with Pete Alonso for 5 more seasons after that. Just keep that in the back of your head. The Edwin Diaz one is the one that I do think was the bigger mistake by the New York Mets, but it seemed like he just had LA on his mind the entire time. Let's say they kept Diaz here, and they go $25 million a year for 5 years for Edwin Diaz. Everybody wanted to give a closer and a reliever 5 seasons. I'll say it's 5, but let's say 3. Now you're over 415. That puts you next to the Dodgers. That's exactly where Mets fans want to be, correct? Now let's add the other one. Let's add the Brandon Nimmo deal now for 5 more seasons of Brandon Nimmo at $20+ million a season. You're putting yourself in a pretty bad situation there with no flexibility at all. Let's look towards next year, and this could change every single year. I get it. That payroll dips over $100 million, $140 million. That payroll just dipped because we've lost we've lost a few guys on this team that won't be on the team next year. But you look at a guy like, let's just look at the names that are going to be attached next year, correct? So you got Soto, who's going to be here. Bichette, does he opt in? Does he cost you that $40 million? We'll see. Lindor will be here. Simeon's here. Minaya is in the last year of his deal. That money's coming off the books. Polanco, the last year of his deal. That money's coming off the books. Robert, you have a team option on Luis Robert. If he performs extremely well and he performs to that 5-tool potential, that $20 million will feel like nothing for a Gold Glove center fielder. You have Devin Williams at 15 in year 2. Kodai Senga in the second to last year of his deal at only 15. Clay Holmes in the second to last year, actually in the last year of his deal at only 12. And Weaver in the second to last year. Guys, are you not seeing what I'm saying right now? Let's go to 2028. The payroll dips to $147 million. Look at the players left on the team. This is all subject to change because now what you have here in 2028, this is the biggest one. This is the biggest one, guys. In 2028, you have Marcus Simeon's last $24 million coming off the books. If you had Brandon Nimmo on this team, that would be 20 this year, 20 the following year, and then 20 going into 2030. That contract was going to be an absolute disaster. Now we push it forward, and I get it. For most teams, this is sort of the outline. But look at this. 2029, the Mets don't have any money on the books. 2030, no money on the books, guys. They are built to sustain this team for the better because the biggest thing that I keep preaching to everybody at this point is the reasoning why they're not locking themselves into long-term deals is because they've built one of the best farm systems in all of baseball. They will have plenty of positions for these guys to come up, perform, prove to the team that they could be the stars that the Mets might think that they are. And if they're not, the Mets will keep the good ones, hopefully. The Mets will keep the majority of the good prospects and deal away the prospects for proven talent. The way the Dodgers do it, they've perfected this. The Dodgers seem to just rotate prospects in and out of trades like it's nothing. The Dodgers will trade their 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th best prospect. Nobody will bat an eye because the following season, they'll just replace them with even better prospects and even better players that they'll just eventually possibly deal out anyway. You want to build what the Dodgers have. The Mets have started that this season by flipping it out, getting rid of a lot of the dead weight in the future, and starting with the young talent and the players to build around. Juan Soto, Francisco Lindor, Nolan McLean. The young talent that's on this team has to be built around properly. The clubhouse was broken. Nobody could dispute that. Something was wrong with the clubhouse. A lot of these guys are gone, and they've changed it for the better. What the flexibility aspect of this is, the farm system is going to be huge here. And you've already seen it now with Jet Williams and Brandon Sproat. I'm not the biggest Jet Williams guy, but Brandon Sproat, I definitely liked a lot, and it was very tough to see him go to the Milwaukee Brewers for Freddie Peralta. And I wasn't clear about it in the video that I made. I said, if we were just strictly getting back Freddie Peralta alone for those two prospects, that would have been a tougher pill to swallow for me. And eventually we all just have to get over things, right? But that would have been a tougher pill to swallow for me, not because of Jet Williams, but more because of Brandon Sproat. The fact that the Mets got a controllable arm in Tobias Myers, who's been a very successful pitcher so far in this league, somebody that David Stearns sees as a starter, swingman, bullpen guy that could do a lot of stuff for you, that Swiss Army knife, that's the kind of deal where, okay, now I understand why David Stearns was holding out. He wanted another arm. If it wasn't going to be McGill, then it had to be somebody like Tobias Myers. So that turns out to be a very good deal for the New York Mets. I'm so excited about the direction of this franchise, man. I'm so excited because we finally got the financial flexibility. Only 2 guys are locked in for the next 5-7 years. So you got so many options to deal with. You got the farm system. You got the prospects. You got everything right at the edge of your seat for David Stearns to build this thing the right way. That's why, guys, it's not personal. It's never personal when it comes to players. I loved Pete Alonso, and I loved Brandon Nimmo for what they did for this franchise. I'll never forget what they did for this franchise. But it was time for a change, guys. There was too much losing. And if you want to blame Pete or not blame Pete, want to blame Nimmo or not blame Nimmo, that's your prerogative, okay? I just think taking players aside, I just think it was time for a change with this franchise. And you finally have a guy here that said, I'll take all the bullets from the fan base because I know it's going to be a complete shit show getting rid of these fan favorites. I'll take the bullets and I'll flip this thing the right way, or what he deems to be the right way. Get behind it, because cheering against it doesn't do you any good. Would you rather... I know there's a portion of the fan base that would rather be right and lose than be wrong and win. I know there's a lot of you guys out there. I'd rather win. Doesn't matter. Homegrown, free agents, trades. It doesn't matter who's on the team, guys. Winning cures everything. And this team has not done a lot of winning over the last decade. The team hasn't done a lot of winning over the last 70 years. But I digress on that. Guys, if you got this far, share, like, subscribe to this channel. Daily Mets content. Thank you guys for watching. It means so much to me if you made it this far in the video.